I got a movie for you. Have you guys heard of the movie Carnival of Souls from
Oh, I
1962?
have never seen it though.
Dude, I recommend this movie. It's on HBO Max. It's part of their like Criterion. HBO Max is dope because they have all the Criterion or a lot of the Criterion movies that cost $40 if you were to buy them. But it's called Carnival of Souls. It was made by a dude named Herv Harvey, who was like like a corporate director that made like movies for businesses that decided he was driving through Utah and there was this old rundown, I forgot the name of it, but there's this old rundown carnival in the salt flats of Utah, and he came up with this whole horror movie, and it's super interesting. It's the way I would describe it is, and it was a movie that came out that was not successful, but has built a cult following, and it's like if Alfred Hitchcock made a movie with no budget and less talent than the real Alfred Hitchcock, but in the best way possible for a cult movie. So it's a story about a woman who like the movie starts with her and her girlfriends and they're in a car and this guy rolls up next to him in a car and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to drag race?" And so the girls are like, "Yeah, let's do it." So they drag race and the girls end up careening off of a bridge and one of the girls survives and she's a church organist who's just been hired by this church in another city to be their lead organist and she's like a total atheist. But she comes back, they can't find the crash. She comes out, drives to this place to be the organist in this church. And along the way, she starts seeing the faces of like dead people. And like, I have to imagine that the Imagineers who worked on the Haunted Mansion had to have been fans of this movie, had to have gotten inspiration because there's so many like just visual elements to it that remind me so much of the Haunted Mansion. Like there's a scene where she's driving and there's the face of this like dead person in the passenger side window, and it's totally like a Pepper's Ghost effect. And it's one of the creepiest things ever. Total psychological thriller, super enjoyable. The last 20 minutes of the movie are really scary. I totally recommend you guys see it. Like I said, it was made by a dude. It was the only movie he ever made. Shot it in Kansas and Utah, and like basically paid all these people. Like he went into a department store and shot and paid the manager $20 to ignore them while they shot all the scenes. He paid, I think it said he paid like the city of Salt Lake $50 or something to shoot at this abandoned carnival, which is where she. Anyway, I
What?
don't want to say too much
That's
about it, dude.
awesome.
I walked into it knowing nothing other than I saw a tweet that somebody had put up of some of the best like haunting scenes in movies, and that was one of them. So I had seen it on HBO Max, and it's a really good time.
I don't think I've seen even heard of that, but for me, anything that's involved like a carnival, I'm just automatically in.
Dude, you're gonna love the movie. It's super weird. Like you got to stick with it a little bit. There's great twists in it, but it's just this slow. It's in a certain way. It reminded me a little bit of Pearl, where you're just watching this woman get into this like gnarly crash, and then what her life becomes after that, and like the slow descent of madness and guilt from being a survivor of this thing. It's nuts, dude. I really loved it. It was like a huge inspiration to George Romero of Night of the Living Dead, and when you watch it, you will absolutely go like, oh shit, he ripped off Night of the Living Dead with some of this stuff. Um, so yeah, super good movie. It's on HBO Max. Go check it out. You guys will really, I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Nice. Again, that was a solid pitch.
That's a solid pitch,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
That's also on my list. I've never seen it. I've only ever heard great things about it, though.
It's great. It's an hour and 25 minutes, so it's an in and out kind of a thing. But man, it just and it's that indie horror, like indie before indie was indie, and it's just super low budget. Like he raised all the money from local businesses in Kansas, and then he used local actors in Kansas and Utah, so it has that element of weird, like not seasoned actors, and it makes it even creepier. Dude, she has these visions in the movie, and all the visions they shot like it was a 20s silent film. So all the ghouls and monsters are shot in like it's a silent film. It's so super
Cool.
ethereal and cool, man. I think you guys would dig it.
Is do they have like any like fast casual restaurants in it, like Chick-fil-A or like whatever the equivalent is of
Well,
that?
not in Carnival of Souls 1, but Carnival of Souls 2 I heard takes place exclusively in a Chick-fil-A in like the 70s. So it would have to be in Oklahoma.
The first Chick Fil A, dude.
Yeah.
What if they
Wow.
did that? What if they just came out with a sequel to it like next year? That'd be awesome.
Well, dude, the lead of the dude it was so reviled when it came out that the lead, who was the lead actress, her management and like representation dropped her. But she, like,
Wow.
30 years later or 20 years later, she wrote a sequel to it, took it to the movie studio. Oh, the other thing about this movie, they never copyrighted it. So as soon as they released it, it became public domain.
What?
So like there's no
The result, I just flat out forgot.
yeah, I just flat out lost it. But they don't like, so there's no like, they didn't make any money from it. But the lead actress wrote a sequel to it and took it to a movie studio, and they were like, "Oh, awesome! Thanks for this great idea. We're just gonna reboot the movie." And they remade another one, I think in the late '80s or late '90s. Super dope movie.
Guys, real good job with the movie. I'm excited to be done with it. Quick thing, I forgot to file anything. I can't pay anyone, and we made nothing.
The lawyer's like, he only gave me $5.
There's absolutely zero residuals, like at all.
I don't know what to say other than I'm sorry, but great job, you guys.
It's a cult hit. It didn't make any
Dude.
money in the movie theaters, but
I know that there's going to be a guy talking about it on a podcast in 2023. So that's
in
cool.
20 years when HBO becomes a thing, it's going to reach a cult following that you won't ever see the monetary gains for at all.
So
Your
is
family's
it
going to be still poor, living paycheck to paycheck.
In Kansas.
is it owned by someone now? I would imagine
No.
so we could watch it on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. We could watch it.
Good point, dude.
Dude, I'd be so down for that. It's a like, it would be fun to watch you guys experience it in real time. I had so much fun with it. Like, that's my favorite. This year I really tried to branch out in terms of like the movies that, you know, Talk to Me is not a movie I would really, you know, watch. You know, we branched out early on and kind of watched a little bit more foreign horror, which I thought was really cool. And
Me too, man. And then I stopped, and then I went right back to fucking Tremors and Phantasm and shit that I've seen 1,000 times, dude.
you're an American, dude. That's
I
how
have
we,
regrets.
that's how
Some
we
good
roll.
stuff, dude. There's some really good foreign horror
is.
stuff.